Well, we meet again. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Chevy van from yesterday. If you watched that video, we did the water pump, and today we're going to do the shocks to start off the day. And it's the day before Thanksgiving when I'm filming, so I'm looking forward to that. We're going to spend a day in the shop, not just fixing vans. We got classic Camaros, we got intermittent AC problems. What else do we have today? Oh, 2002 Thunderbird that they're having a hard time finding the right parts for it, but they gave me the ticket. It says 0 labor on it. Maybe they mean we'll figure it out. I don't know. I think I worked on it like an hour once already for free. Don't let it deter you. I don't let it deter me. So all we can do is make it work, row our boat, try to learn things, have fun, and see what we can accomplish. Keep your head above water. You got to keep rowing. The banjos are getting close. I hear them right behind me. But I'm gonna do what I can to make it work. All kidding aside, I'm gonna get this thing on the lift, see what these shocks look like. They're not really what I was expecting, because it has this old-fashioned mounting, like they put them in suspension arms, but it's on all 4 shocks, front and rear. Kind of strange. We'll see. This is the only lift I think I can do it on. The drive-on racks would be easier to lift it, but I think they'll block the arms if they have to come out of those holes in the suspension arms. You're familiar with GM shocks? Well, let's get this day started by lifting this thing up, seeing if the shocks are right, and going from there. Stay tuned. That front looks like the one pair of shocks would be right. The back, oh yeah, 2 bolts, look at that. Huh. Alright, we're gonna be okay. I think the shocks are right. I would expect nothing less. I think that's a transmission for that Silverado I did the service on not too long ago. So we're gonna do a transmission, I think. I didn't look inside yet. So once I get the shocks done, get the intermittent AC problem looked at, I won't work on that, because I got an 87 Camaro and a 2002 Thunderbird convertible with a leaking top to work on first. Then we'll get to the transmission. That's funny. I don't care who you are. That's got to be funny. It's funny for me. It's got to be funny for you guys. I'm gonna hold this with a vice grip because I can't fit my cool shock sockets I have. If you guys have seen those, I can't fit it in there. The wheel was too close, so hopefully that'll hold it. Yeah, yep, that's nice. Oh, it's gonna be easy. Shocks pay 0.5 each. We'll knock those out in no time. I don't really like this lift, it leaks, but if it's on the safeties, it shouldn't go anywhere, right? Some of these lifts need some work. Joe's lift's leaking, this lift's leaking. My lift's been worn out for years, but they're talking about fixing it now because the lift company wants to repair the concrete under it. There's been so many holes drilled in it. The bushings are all shot. I hope they didn't want shocks because of the squeaky noise. I never looked at any of that. This vehicle had no belt. It was completely destroyed. If you didn't see yesterday's video, it was shredded. The tensioner went bad and the belt pieces made the water pump leak, getting behind the pulleys and stuff. And now that's all fixed and he wants shocks. He's getting shocks. Look at these things, heavy duty. It's pretty bad though when they can't get the stickers to stay on and stuff. You'd think they'd make better stickers. Some of them bubbling and peeling off, some of them weren't even installed correctly. I don't know. I never heard of reflux shock. Look at this. Got a big bubble in the shock sticker. You can't flat. I don't know. A little bit of pride in your product would be nice. It's not a good look, I'm saying. And those bushings are definitely why it's squeaking. When I drove it over here on the lift, there we go. The other ones The other shocks are basically upside down, I guess, because this 2-bolt mount is on the bottom in the front, and it's on the top in the back. I don't feel very safe under this lift, but I've been under it many times. You'll be alright. You don't have to like it, you just have to get it done. Shock should be pretty quick though. Washer, bushing, shock. Sometimes these have a slight tilt, so I'll try to favor it if it's visible. It's hard to tell sometimes. These shocks are a little shorter, so we're going to make them work. These are big cast iron arms. They usually have stamped steel, and they have like a blind nut on the tabs, but these are actually drilled and tapped control arms, so you don't want to cross them for sure. I mean, you'll have a bad day. I'm going to let it down and finish the front shocks before I go to the back by putting another bushing, rubber washer, and then put my nuts on it. These shocks are quite a bit shorter. I had to set the car on the ground to get the shaft pulled out the top as much. They were just barely sticking on top. If I can at least get my nuts started on here, then we'll be alright. I'm going to do the other side too, and then we'll lift the back up. The back I think with a long extension, I can get the 13s that they're in the arms on this, and then in the back they're in the top cross member, but I think with an extension they're not too bad if I remember correctly. I gotta get rid of this swivel, it's too wide. That's better. That last little bit was the difference between a smooth, quiet, squeaky bushing ride and one that goes gunk, 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 gunk. Now, you know what I should have got while I was inside? The side cutters to release that, and as it reaches, sneak the bolt in. That's my plan. Uh-oh. Careful now. They don't call me tricky for nothing. Do-do-do-do-do. 21 millimeter. They're working on a Ferrari now. I don't know what they're doing. Alternator, I think. Which, that makes me happy. They didn't even ask me to work on it. I like that. Missed it. Gravity check! Oh, that was a shirt I was wearing this morning. You guys didn't even see it because I didn't get a chance to do my intro. Started talking about all the gravy work I was going to do today up front. I got so motivated to get started. I do my intro impromptu. It's easier if you take the bottom bolt out first, so you can wiggle this thing around on its bushings. That's what I did. Now I get my fingers up here with the gas tank in the way is another story. So I'll take my extension, which makes my T-Rex arms seem even longer than they already are. Between the frame and all that stuff going on in there. Not happening. I'm going to get this shock buttoned up just like the other side. It's kind of repetitive. We'll move on to see what the next fiasco is. Oh, look at that axle seal leak. That's terrible. We're definitely going to have to note that. The plastic wrap is in the way. guys probably can't see nothing but my voluptuous head. I apologize. Yes, side cutters can be a hammer. And with enough effort, a hammer can be side cutters. Can't make any promises about what might happen to what you're side cutting with your hammer. Alright, on to the next fiasco, repair. That's pretty funny. He's been working on an alternator on the Ferrari for 3 hours. I did the shocks. I did an induction service on that van too, but I didn't film it. And now we're in the Chevy Silverado. Let's focus. This one, before I went on a cruise, it was working intermittently, acting very weird. I relearned the actuators, relearned the module, and it started blowing cold. And I was like, yay. And then I went on a cruise. I told him I couldn't get it to act up again. That might have worked. We'd have to drive it and see what happens, right? Well, of course, it didn't work. It did it again. And then one of the other guys here worked on it, and he said the expansion valve was sticking and making the evaporator freeze, causing the problem. Which sounded kind of odd, because while it was warm, the pressures were good for me before I went on the cruise. And after I did the actuator learn, it started working. Long story short, it came back with the expansion valve leaking, and we had put one in it, so I put it under warranty, fixed the leak. It came back the next day, which was yesterday. The AC is still full, but it's doing the same thing it did before I went on my cruise. I relearned the actuators, it got cold again. I pulled codes yesterday when it came back blowing warm. Pressures are good, everything looked good, compressors running. It's 220 or so over 40 on the machine, but blowing warm. Relearn the actuators, it's cold again. Matter of fact, it's probably cold right now. We're doing a search on all the codes in every module just to see, but the code I'm really focused on, this is probably, it's blowing cold right now, it's working. So the code I'm focused on is B0413-05, which is inside cabin temperature sensor open circuit. And I'm getting conflicting information, which is another common problem in our industry, but man, it's ice cold now. One guy said the ambient air temp sensor is in the HVAC panel. And I'm like, well, the ambient air temp sensor is out under the radiator. I know that much. The inside air temp sensor, or cabin temperature sensor, one guy says is in the module. One guy says in the sun load sensor. I pulled up a wiring diagram for a 2014 Silverado with automatic air like we got, and it says it's in the sun load sensor. Right up here, you go in the HVAC module, it says ambient, or it says inside air temp sensor signal. Now what's confusing is, and I even almost just called it an ambient sensor again, the ambient sensors for outside air temperature. The inside air temperature sensor is also in the sun load, so it wants to see how strong the sun is, plus the temperature, and it messes with your AC when you have it on auto based on some of those inputs. There's also a sensor in every air duct for temperature. But all that does is it compares the inside cabin temp sensor in the sun load sensor. It compares that with what's coming out of the duct. It wants to see how close it has your target temperature. Sounds confusing. It's really not that confusing, except for the conflicting information you get about what's what and where the sensors might be and stuff. But I'm glad I found this wiring diagram saying it's in the sun load sensor. I know that's way cheaper than a control panel. My problem is main temperature control feedback. So even the manufacturer doesn't call it the same thing that all my wiring diagrams and stuff call an ambient air sensor and inside air temperature sensor. And in the scan tool, it's called a main temperature control feedback circuit. High voltage or open means it's disconnected or the sensor's going open intermittently. Whew, that was a lot. I want to see what the temperature is right now. We'll see if we can find inside air temperature or main temperature. We have evaporator. Ambient air temperature filtered. That might be the outside sensor. Passenger compartment air temperature unfiltered. Upper right duct, upper left duct. Let's look at all of them. Those are all vital inputs for the computer. Evaporator 66. It feels colder. Oh no, it's not. It is getting warm now a little bit. The right side's colder than the left. All right. Ambient air 73. Passenger compartment air 78. Sun load 12 wingamingles to the power of 2. Upper left duct 75. Upper right 68. Well, it feels like more of a difference than that. I'm going to guess the sensors are accurate and my hand is not as accurate as they are. This is very interesting. 64 degrees at the evaporator. That's probably pretty accurate. So what I'll do now is I'm going to do an actuator relearn again and see if any of these numbers change what we get. Maybe it is something going on with the HVAC panel, because I was really expecting to see the passenger compartment air temperature unfiltered say like -40 or something when this wasn't working too good. But that's not the case. Interesting. Take note of these temperatures. We'll make a little recording, about 5 seconds or so. I'm going to save it to Silverado. Today's date. Hopefully I don't work on more than one. Silverado. Okay, now I'm going to go out and do an actuator learn. Special functions, actuator learn. And you'll hear everything change like we did yesterday. It just went to my feet. So the temperature is going to get hot and then cold. And we're going to go back into those same data PIDs and see what the temperatures do, if anything. We'll come back once this is done and see what it looks like. All right, we cleared our codes. Going back to live data. We'll see if it saved it for us. And we will start it up. Fire this thing up. See what happens. Maybe I'm imagining that it feels colder after I do this, but it feels like it makes a big difference to me. Give it a minute to find itself. Now it feels pretty cool, but not ice cold. Let's lower this temperature we're asking of it. The evaporator got warmer with the higher fan speed. It's not getting cold right now either, so I wouldn't expect it to be colder at the sensors when I don't feel it's any colder. Huh. We're gonna do some dancing. Hopefully I get paid this time. That'll be cool. We'll see. Evaporator temperature sensor 75 degrees, ambient air 73. I should probably hook the machine to it, see what the pressures look like while I'm doing this. We may have to do that. Well, that is really strange. I just added 0.3 of a pound of refrigerant. It's showing it's low on refrigerant. But yesterday the pressures were good and it was warm until I relearned the actuators. Today it looks like it's low on refrigerant. So we may have two separate problems. This thing's got to have a leaking evaporator or something. I don't see dye anywhere, but I do see that adding a little refrigerant got my evaporator temp way down. And my ducts are coming down a little bit at a time, which is normal. So it's working correctly. Ambient air 73, the ducts are 60. So this ambient air sensor will keep coming down until it gets about where the duct temperature is. They get cold first, obviously. You got to do the whole cabin. This thing is losing refrigerant, and even when it's full, sometimes something happens, probably with the sun load sensor. I'm guessing intermittently it goes open and reads -40. And then the evaporator might have a leak. I'm gonna get the sniffer and see if we can sniff. I thought I smelled something funny, which normally you do when an evaporator's leaking. I got in the truck going, something doesn't smell right. I do have to turn this up a little because The fan speed being too high messes with that sensor. Now look at the evaporator temp come way down. The higher the fan runs, the warmer the evaporator gets because the air is moving through it so fast. When you have the fan on about medium, the evaporator will actually get colder. The air will get colder, but the volume's lower. So now it's down to 42 degrees, and the duct temperature is down to 53. So 0.3 of a pound of refrigerant lost since yesterday. Very strange. Let's grab the sniffer and see if that works, if I can pick something up. You grab the tool, get it fired up. It takes a second. The pressure goes up in the evaporator. If it's leaking, it'll be purging refrigerant into the ducts. And when I put the sensor on, I can turn the key on, fan on low, and it'll blow refrigerant at the sensor. That's the theory. Now there's two guys working on it. The O'Reilly's guy and the manager. I guess he said somebody broke a bolt off. So he's trying to fix a broken bolt. This thing's gonna take a second to find itself. There it goes. Turn the key on without starting it, so the pressure is higher in the evaporator. Yeah, it's probably going to want me. It's not even turning my blower fan on. Unless I put it in manual mode. Let's do that. Sometimes one duct will pick up refrigerant better than another. Could also have, I could be barking up the wrong tree and it has a leak from somewhere outside. I already checked my expansion valve. I didn't see any new dye. Some traces of the old dye, but when I looked at it a couple of days ago, there was puddles of dye oil around the expansion valve, so I thought we had it licked then. Here we are. The world of auto repair is always a roller coaster ride. If you like roller coasters, it's awesome. These tools too. I've probably showed you this if you watch my videos for a while, but I'm leaking refrigerant. Let's start it up. Got that fan on real low. And if this thing was leaking bad enough to lose over 1/4 pound in a day, and when I did the evac and recharge, I also did a leak test and I passed. So that shows you how reliable that is. All that is, and I've said this before as well, the vacuum leak test the machines do is to tell you if you have a gross leak, like you forgot an O-ring or something like that. It's not going to tell you if you might lose 1/4 pound in a week, which is sad, but you would think it would. But I think because of the fact that it pulls in rather than pushing out, refrigerant's pushing out, the vacuum test is pulling in, it could actually help a sketchy O-ring seal a little bit. I think that's why. But the evaporator's at 39 degrees. Not picking up anything from this thing. I'm going to lift it on the alignment rack, go to the drain tube, because sometimes the refrigerant will go down and not come out the vents with the fan. I thought it'd be a bad enough leak. I really thought I was going to put the sniffer and have it go crazy because of the smell I can smell in here. Maybe it's just BO. I don't know. Potato chips, something.
Yes, sir. Maybe this is the one that's crazy. I already know what it is. Something's not lined up. Yeah, the motor is full. What's up? It's too far out. Oh, freehand. Alright, there's no factory like that. You can maybe push it in all the way. Oh, really? Yeah. What? It's way up. Looks like the alternator. The alternator. CO2 one time. I got a 305. My factory 305 that came right now. Yep. I think it needs a spacer, a different pulley on the alternator. It's got the wrong pulley on the alternator, so it's spaced out. I know why it's for. The compressor blew up and blew the fuse. But I tell you what.
What you're looking at here is a 1991 Camaro convertible. It's got the full hot rod setup, hot rod engine. It took off. Hey, keep it down. We're filming over here. What are you doing? It's got the carburetor on it. It took off the fuel injection. The gas pedal, he said sometimes it sticks. It's because this cable hits the bracket. You see the bracket moves and stuff too. It's all. You guys that like hot rods, you know the deal. You trim this back a little bit, or just cut this and put some. Well, you couldn't shrink to, but it wouldn't move, would it? You cut it up to here or something, or get the correct throttle cable bracket for it. This is one of those. This is supposed to actually be bent up, but it would be in the way, so someone bent it down, but not enough. I could bend this down a little more. The alternator pulley's wrong. It's supposed to have the one that has the spacer in back, where you can get the 8-rib alternator and put the belt on the front 6 ribs. That's another option. The belt tension and pulley wobbles. The compressor's locked up. You can see the metal. Compressor's seized. So it's a 91 hot rod Camaro, man. We'll see if he wants to fix all this stuff. I'm doing a full inspection on it. We'll revisit it if he wants to. I think he just bought it. We've worked on this before. Got a custom interior. It's actually a really nice car. The hot rods, I'd take that carburetor off, go back to fuel injection myself, or maybe put a late model fuel injection setup on it, like the Aces I have on my truck. We'll see what happens with it. Just wanted to show you how cool it was. Catch you guys up. One on the alignment rack. Uneventful. I didn't see any dye, no hits from the drain tube. You got to be careful with the drain tube if there's any condensation dripping from it, but there wasn't, because I let it sit a while. I need to get a better look at this condenser. It's such a common problem. I don't know. I think it's definitely got 2 problems. I got to find the leak first, and then we'll worry about if it has other problems. The way they do it here, you really can't even see it. So I'm going to put the sniffer in there. This is where they love to leak from. Interesting. Don't be discouraged. We're going to find it.
Woo! Smells like a clutch burning.
It smells like a clutch.
Oh, that's a brake dragging. Woo! That's what it is.
Or it smells like a brake drag.
Okay, so I don't think it went as smooth as you thought it was going to. Brake locked up.
Just put a booster in that truck and the brakes are smoking. Pedal adjustment's not right. I don't know, man. Looking kind of sketchy. While driving, the warning message comes on for brake system problem and hill assist alert on a 2022 Honda with 32,000 miles on it. They're waiting. I'm gonna pull it in, we'll have a look. This woman literally, I'm not exaggerating either, watch this. This is where she had the seat. That's literally where it was. I'm like, I can't get in, I have to move your seat, so I hope you understand that. Anyway, it's only got 32,000 miles on it. There's not a single warning on the dash. Someone just might need a Snickers bar. That's probably all it is. No big deal. Let's see if we can find a connector here. And oh, what's that? Oop, I feel something. Something's about to happen. All right. I don't have very high hopes because Hondas don't break. I don't understand why they would be here. One of the more likely things is someone's accidentally hitting a button on a steering wheel or something like that. But I don't know. I could be wrong. It's all speculation at this point. What I'll do is go through, see if there's any trouble codes. Maybe there is. But the fact that it came in for weird lights on the dash and I got in it and there's no lights on the dash has me a little bit alarmed. 32,000 miles on a 3-year-old car. 2022 Honda CRV EX. I'm trying to figure out what's leaking on the Silverado, but they stopped me to do this one, so I'll do this one. I don't know. The Silverado, I can't find a leak. Somehow it lost about 1/4 of a pound over, the course of a day. That's got to be a leak we can find. The one thing I was getting ready to do next was, I always put my fingers over the AC ports and sometimes a little bit of the old human juice on there to see if I get bubbles or anything or feel any pressure. That's a primitive way of making sure they're not leaking bad, but I'm going to put the sniffer near them and see if I... Why is it Hank calling people? I don't... oh, she's on her phone inside probably. USA. So anyway, I checked those ports for leaks physically, but I did not put the sniffer in them yet. I'm going to try that once we get done with this Honda. We'll spend a little time on it and pull it out, I'm guessing, but we'll see. Health report. Oh, this one here, this Acura that Jace is looking at, he put a motor mount in it a couple weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and he's complaining about a noise. But since then, he went somewhere else and had struts, tie rod ends, axles, and something other stuff put in. And the other shop told him, it's nothing we did. Go back where you had the motor mount done. So they're playing with that. I'm like, what? I don't understand. Just a weird day so far, basically, is what I'm saying. So I hope nobody's sad about that. We'll see what happens. This is almost done. Flappity flap, flap, flap. Oh! Open and right side BSI radiator unit indicator circuit. Brake booster control unit power circuit. Low voltage. Electric brake booster. Uh-oh. Well, that will do the hill assist warning and stuff. Hit the brakes. Let off. Hit the brakes. Let off. Nothing. Brakes. The power brakes are working right now, I'll tell you that much. So what I'll do in this situation is send them a report up front. Why does the mileage off on every vehicle? This scan tool must just throw out a guess. I don't know. 32,584. You guys feel my frustration? I hope not. I don't want you to be frustrated. I'm going to send this report. I'm going to go look up this code and see if it's something we can help her with today. She's waiting, so we will. It may be something that there's a recall at Honda. Honda is not exempt from that, just like every other manufacturer nowadays. There's tons of recalls. Matter of fact, Honda's a little quiet about it, but they're up near the top for having the most. But I will say, giving them credit, they recall even the simplest little things. So maybe that's part of it. Ford as well. I think Ford's #1 for recalls. So let me send us a report. Let me look up that code and see if there's anything more we're going to do with this, and I'll show you if there is. It's almost lunchtime. That's good news. This says basically to check this fuse in the fuse box, but it wouldn't be intermittent, I would think. Although I can go wiggle it, see if I can duplicate the problem. I think we'll do that. It says to get down to the electric power brake assist or electric brake booster on the firewall, but you got to take the battery and the battery tray and a whole bunch of stuff out to get to it. See if it has power and ground while the problem's occurring, and replace it if it does. Problem is, the problem's not occurring, and if I test it, it's going to say everything's okay. Now, I'm going to do the inspection on this vehicle. 32,000 miles, not going to need a lot. Oil change isn't due for 5,000 miles, so it was just done. I always clean the old stickers off myself when I do them. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I need a Snickers. That's basically what's happening. I'm gonna look around. The fuse panel, it's like a multi-fuse, it looks like. It's got all these attached. I'm gonna go give it a jiggle and see if we get any codes or lights on the dash. And if I do, I'll show you. This should be it right here. It's upside down in the picarature. It's the longer one with two. Okay, so it's this one. But this says A. This says R. And I thought it said, yeah, it says A1-2. But then A1-2 points to the R. I don't know. Alright, we're struggling. Electric brake booster. Let's bring up the data. Select all. Graph. I gotta at least try this for but if it needs a part or something, we got like 4 or 5 hours left in the week. Well, I'll get an hour for lunch because we don't take any other breaks but lunch. So yeah, we got 4 hours left in the day. So, but if I can figure it out, that'll help her out, and we can get a part coming maybe. Yeah, nothing's happening with the fuse panel. What you're looking for, this data pit here, if this purple line all of a sudden drops to 0 volts or something like that, then I would know I'm probably in a fuse panel issue. But on a car this new, if it hasn't been wrecked, I would be very surprised if it wasn't an internal module problem. Let's tap it with something a little sharp, like the handle of a screwdriver. Sometimes you hit it too hard, it won't cause a problem. You just tap it, then it'll make something happen. I also have the engine running because of the vibration that causes. I'm trying to think of a way to show you the vibration, but anyway, trust me, vibrating a little bit. It's not doing anything with the voltage right now. It's also not setting the code right now, so something intermittent going on with the brake booster, and I'd probably take it to Honda myself because there's a chance to be under warranty, and it's only going to be available from Honda. Very limited information online too. The car is still too new. We'll see if any more comes of it. I don't think it will. So I'll talk to them, do the inspection, and pull it around and see if there's something else interesting to do. I know one thing, using my border scope camera from Kaiweeks, I can check the air filter without opening the air box up.
Yeah.
Definitely needs one. This one has been repainted. It's from a dealership, a used car lot. They don't want an inspection or any of that. They said sometimes the shifter gets stuck. I don't know what that means. Not for sale. And then it says on this window here, for sale. But I'm not worried about that. 2017 Nissan Rogue with 126,131 miles. Personally, I'd rather have the Ferrari than this. And you guys that have been watching a while, you know what that means. Not a fan. Especially with 126,000 miles and a CVT and a shifter issue, which I don't. If you step on the brake, you can hear the shifter. Let's put the window up. These guys are all chit-chatting out here, messing with the studio settings. You hear that? That's the release for the shifter. This feels weird. Did it. I hear it. I don't hear it, I mean. I don't hear the shift lock release. So it's doing what they're talking about. Let's turn the key off. Start it back up. Like nothing happened. Aha. It's not doing it. Okay. It's not releasing. I shouldn't say it's not doing it. It is doing it. It's not doing what it's supposed to. Semantics. Let's get the scanner and see if it acknowledges the brake pedal being pressed and the solenoid's not working in the shifter. I'm guessing once I tell them what's wrong, they're going to fix it themselves. These dealerships usually have a mediocre mechanic that can blast the parts in it real cheap once they figure out what's wrong. That's my job. All right, we're doing a thing. Scanning for codes, sending a report. Then we're going to bring up some BCM data. It's still not clicking, even after shutting it off and hooking the scanner up and starting it back up. No, it's still not clicking. Anybody want to place your bets? Brake light switch or shift solenoid? You know what we can do? I can put a hood prop on the brake pedal and see if the brake lights work. If the brake lights are coming on, then it should be releasing. Let's do that while this thing plays, what's the polite way to put it? Tiddlywinks. Alright, brake pedal slash hood prop depressor. We got brake lights. Guess what? Make sure they turn off too. Haha! I think we have a bad shift lock solenoid. Sometimes there is multiple parts to the switch. The brake light switch will have separate circuits for some reason, for cruise control, for the park switch, for the brake lights. Almost anything's possible nowadays, because the more complicated it is, the better, right? It's really strange though. If you would think they only need a 2-wire brake light switch because they have all these CAN systems and communication between modules. The brake light switch goes to the BCM. The BCM says, whoop, turn off the cruise, we hit the brakes. Put on the brake lights, we hit the brakes. Take it out of park, we hit the brakes. Right? Just me? I don't know. In the past, it had 2 low tires and a right door crash sensor open. So that's why it was painted. It was hit in the right front probably. I can see the front end and the door were repainted. Makes sense. Let's get in here to the BCM. Bring up some data and see what it looks like. Alright, brake switch 2, brake switch 1. Let's just see. That's probably going to work because we have brake lights, right? Brake switch. On. Off. On. Off. On. Off. Let's go on. So the brake switch is working. We're going to have to get in here and check that little solenoid, maybe pull up a wiring diagram. I can see, I think this probably just pops off. It might be easy to get to and test it, included in the diag. I get an hour to play around and see what I can figure out. Transmission. Shift interlock is what we're looking for. Actuation test, no. CVT oil cooler, nope. Don't worry, I'm going to edit some of this time down. You won't even hardly know. I wish it would show me shift lock. Ah, that's a bummer. Let me go get a wiring diagram, see how hard it is to get this off. We'll dig in and see if we're getting the power and ground to make this switch work. Is it over yet? We're going to have a 4-day weekend in about 2.5 hours. We got a few silly things to take care of first. We got some diagrams. There's a relay box, a little tiny one. I already found it. I'm going to show you in a second. It says gray, purple, and gray and white. There's a fuse, it goes through a junction, comes down to the power side of the shift lock relay, and that also feeds over here to the stop lamp switch on the brake pedal. So that when that switch is pressed and the contact is closed, it sends power here, and it can go through this relay when it's closed by the ground and the BCM. So if all is right in the world, this is power. It grounds when you have the key on and you press the brake pedal. It sends power and ground to the shift lock relay, which sends power to the solenoid, which already has a ground on the other side if it's in park, through this park switch. Hope that makes sense. It's confusing me, so it might not make sense. In any event, this is where that little guy goes, down here. I pulled it up here for T-Rex access, and the wire colors don't match, but the picture assures me that this one on this side should be it, because it sits in there like this. And it shows it A, boom, at a right front. So I think I'm in the right spot. What I'm going to do is hook up a test light to the wires I believe go to the shift lock, and see if I got power coming through the relay. And then the only thing left will be the shift lock solenoid in the shifter, or a broken wire. So, and like I said, I'm thinking he's going to fix it himself. I'm not sure, but I mean, this thing was whacked pretty good. You can see the shock towers have been repainted and stuff. It's had some work, so I hope they fixed it right. Everything actually looks pretty good as far as the repair goes. Some used parts, some new parts. Well, that right there is not good. They saved the intake manifold. The nipple broke off, and they RTV'd something to it. So I take it back what I said. I thought they fixed it pretty good. But that intake's probably $250, $300, so it would come out of their profit if they fixed it. Anyway, let's go ahead and fix what they came here for and stop looking around. The white and gray wires probably have power in and power out, and I'm going to hope that the white portion of this wiring diagram is right. Some cars, this relay won't be there, and it'll just come through the stop lamp switch and let the shift lock solenoid release. And some cars have a shift lock relay. It's probably based on what kind of security or whatever it might have in the car, but let's see if a test light lights on the white wire when we step on the brakes with the ignition on. Got my little baby alligator clip thing on that wire. Hoping I have a good connection. I'm on the negative of the battery. It's supposed to send out power. So we'll see if the test light lights. If it does, that's as far as I'm going. I consider it done. Of course, I can take it out of park now. Every time I step on the brake, it should activate the relay. But I'm not hearing a click anymore. It's not working. Whoop, there it goes. Something happened. It's lighting. See it out there? I hope it shows up. Can't get the shifter out, so it's got to have a bad solenoid, unless there is a broken wire due to the accident. But I have exhausted my diagnostic time. So at this point, I would say solenoid's bad. It's actually a pretty common failure in these. So, boom. It's easy. Not so bad. By the light. Of course, now I got to rebuild it. Took it all apart to get to stuff. This goes down here and goes up on that bracket from the bottom. And you got a cool little lid. See, it says right here, shift lock relay and horn relay. It's an example of how the wiring diagram is wrong. It has the wrong colors. The white wire was right. That's the output from the relay to the shift lock solenoid. So that one was right, but 2 of the 4 wires were listed as the wrong color. So sometimes you're better off with a connector pin out, but at least we know what's wrong with it now. We have a 99% probability that a broken wire, I doubt, although it was a wreck. It was wrecked. But if it was broken, it wouldn't be working intermittently. That's normally a sign that the solenoid just sometimes doesn't have enough magnetism to pull the plunger, which is what keeps the shifter apart. On to the next one.
Are you not letting go, Ho?
Tell you what, this is beautifully wrapped. How could it possibly be a wrong part when it's wrapped so well? Saran wrap's expensive. You got to be careful. You can't be using up all this saran wrap like this. Not sure what that means. Left hand 1. Number 1 seal, I'm guessing. You guys remember this car? I think this goes in here. Something like that. This is the problem with the other one, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. don't think I got paid anything last time I worked on this, but we'll see. Let's see if we get paid and make it up this time. He said he paid me for the Ferrari alternator he did too. He's like, but I broke a bolt, so you'll get blamed if it comes back. I'm like, what? Broke a bolt? What? How'd you break a bolt putting an alternator in? I think he didn't know the tensioner was backwards, and he forced it. So I said, let's pull it in and fix it. Ah, it'll be alright, I fixed it. Oh, okay. I was just messing with you. Oh, okay. That's what he said. So you guys, I gotta stop laughing. It's not funny laughing when you're at work too much. 7mm. Ah, maybe you should. Maybe we all need to laugh more while we're at work. It's nearly impossible for me to hold this up, get this piece of rubber in here, and keep the camera rolling. I apologize. The top's constantly going up or down. It won't stay in one spot. I got the rubber pushed back into this channel really good, I think. One way to be sure. And close the top. Here's the old one. The rubber hooks in this channel here and hooks around the outside here. And then you put that screw back in I just did. Like that. I hope it made a difference. We'll see. We're looking for a clean joint when we have the top up. A lot of noise over there, kid. I don't know if that should be inside or not. Hard to tell, I guess so. That's better, I guess. Let's see how the window closes. I'm going to start it up. I'm going to latch it. And this one, if you remember my last video, you got to kind of hold the latches up because the car's a little worse for wear. Don't panic about it though. It'll be all right. She has realistic expectations for perfection, so that was sarcasm. Oh, I missed with this one. All right. Aren't the bells and buzzers fun? Bing, 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 bing. It doesn't drive you batty or anything. It's nice. You got this one latched without the other one coming undone. Oh, it came undone. Dang it. This one came undone. Oh, I gotta go. Someone's got to latch that while you hold them up. I think they're supposed to stay up, really. There you go. Don't touch anything. Bing, 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 bing. I'm gonna put this window down just in case something goes off the rails and it locks. It should close and then go up like 1/8 of an inch. Oh boy. Look at that. That's what we want. There's no gaps in there. The only big problem is it leaks a bunch in the back of the convertible top, but I'm not going to go into it any further. You guys have been watching a while, you know. Alright, this one's done. Quick 20-minute job. How you doing? Say hi to yourself. According to the Making It Work clock, it's almost 4. And they said, hey, we need you to change the fluid in the transaxle on the Ferrari again and adjust the shifter cables because it feels a little clunky going in the third. I'm like, how do I adjust the shifter cables? Oh, it's on the internet. I found it on a forum. Oh, okay. We'll knock that out in an hour. No problem. This green fell off. Yeah, I've done it. This will be a third it's hot. This is your transaxle dipstick. And this thing is, we got hot. They must have been driving it a lot or something. So they decided it was making noise going into third gear that we'd service the transmission again. They've been insisting on it for a while. They're determined, maybe the owner is, I'm not sure who, but one of them decided that neither of them know how to drive a manual. He's driving it and it's going into third gear. I'm like, are you pushing the clutch in? He's like, yeah. I'm like, it's about when you push the clutch in and jump, because I didn't feel it, but whatever. All I know is you can't convince them, otherwise you got to do what they ask. See what happens. And I get done with this around 5 o'clock. Got a nice long weekend. I'll be done with it for the weekend at least. We'll work on it some more Monday probably. Start putting some fluid in. We got a whole bunch of it right here. Same stuff we put in the last 2 times. Oh, wait, you know what? I think the first time we put Mobile 1 transaxle fluid in or something like that. I forget. I think the last 2 times will be this fluid. But either way, fluid doesn't mask the problem with a synchro or synchro mesh, whatever they want to call it on this car. The synchros time the gear, when the gears can go together, when they can't. The synchros in between each gear. Some of them are fully engaged all the time, and all you do is move the sprag that connects the gears to the shaft. I'm not sure how this one works, but I haven't seen fluid fix a single gear shifting issue. Anything's possible. I'm an expert on salsa merengue. That's not what that is. That's reggaeton. I don't know, I'm not really sure. Little punch drunk. That's alright. And there's an additive we got to put in there too, because that fixes mechanical problems as well. It's this stuff. Shift Restore, automatic transmission, protect it and cleaner. If you put that in your differential or transaxle, it helps. It's basically like marble mystery oil. 1.5 ounces per 1 quart. So if I take this down to around here, we should be good, right? Perfect. Child-proof cap, so I gotta figure it out. Feeling a little lost on it right now. Help! Need some help! I got something that'll open it. I'm gonna leave my knife out because I'm guessing everyone's gonna be like that. I'm gonna put 5 of these in first and then check the level. It's real easy to drain some out if I overfill it. I can even get my evacuator to suck some back out and not have to take the drain plug out again. I'm starting to get used to working on this car. It's fun. Now let me finish dropping these in here and we'll put some fluid in it. The show must go on. I got 5 quarts in here. It might be too much. It's a pretty big transaxle though. I'll put the 5 in, we'll put the dipstick in, see where it's at. It is hot too, I hope it doesn't melt my tube. It's gonna take a little while. I took the bumper off the first time, because I made the mistake of going on a forum, and they told me you had to. You don't have to. It's coming out to fill, so I guess that's as much fluid as it needs, or maybe a little extra. So I reversed it, no big deal. It's a little overfilled now. I'm going to have to pull a little more out, like a half quart out. I measured the tube. The dipstick's top to the max line and got it pretty close. Should be in the ballpark there for that. I'm going to take it. Perfect. Ooh. Oh, she's hot. It's hot in there. Let's see. Careful, don't burn your hands when you're looking in there. That's where it's at. Right next to the cat. So, that's what I'm saying, it's toasty. You guys having fun? I'm having a blast. It's a lot of fun. Let's call this thing finito. Let's go grab ourselves a burrito. Ugh. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Just walk away. Pretend you didn't see it. I'm not sure why I feel compelled to reset it when I'm going to shut it down for the weekend, but I'm still going to do it. Exit aligner? Yeah. I could have just done that instead, but it's not as much fun. You know me, I'm strictly about the rules. 62 hours in 3 days. So that's a pretty good week. I might be old, I'm still capable. Just have to have good work. So tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I know you guys are watching this a week later, but I appreciate you watching this week. It's going to be a short week, but we're going to do what we can to make it work. Torque the like button on your way out. I really appreciate that. Don't forget, check out the Amazon store, Sticker Mule, in case you want to pick up a shirt or a sticker or something. And oh yeah, hope I see you in another video, because you're awesome.